And this is the ABC 10 News Streamline. Everything you need to know in under 10 minutes. The Israeli military says the ceasefire in Gaza is officially underway. Overnight troops started falling back to an agreed upon deployment line, and all shelling in Gaza has stopped. Tens of thousands of Palestinians are now making their way back to northern Gaza to assess the damage of the 2-year war. After all Israeli troops are pulled back, Hamas will have 72 hours to release all living hostages, as well as the remains of the ones who died. In exchange, Israel will release more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. President Trump says he plans to travel to the Middle East this weekend ahead of the hostages' release. But there are still some key aspects of the peace plan that remain unclear. As ABC 10 News reporter Perla Shaheen tells us, some Palestinians are still too skeptical to celebrate.
The impact is very deep in San Diego because there's a lot of our community members that have families and they have lost family members in Palestine.
Abdullah Tahiri supports the Palestinian community in the Muslim Leadership Council of San Diego.
This has been very difficult for all of them. And that's why the anticipation is really that of hope, but also of the concern that they have.
He says it's hard for them to believe that it could all come to an end after previous ceasefire deals fell apart, one in November of 2023 and another in January of this year.
The only way that these things are possible is with American leadership.
Ellie Berman is a research director at the UC Institute on Global Conflict and Cooperation and an Israeli Defense Forces veteran.
Trump himself and the Trump administration, but Trump himself managed to kind of trap Netanyahu. Trump's approval among Netanyahu's core voters is stronger than Netanyahu's. He's a very powerful politician within Israel itself.
Berman believes President Trump's direct involvement pressured Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to agree to certain terms. Israelis saluting Trump's role in the peace deal by waving the American flag in the streets of Tel Aviv.
This is an amazingly popular move in Israel and internationally and in Gaza.
Tahiri says Palestinians are hesitant to celebrate.
I think if there's no accountability, this will happen again.
Hoping for some justice to avenge the lives of their loved ones and a path forward to rebuilding their homes. Perla Shaheen, ABC 10 News.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system.
And that's New York State Attorney General Letitia James after a federal indictment for bank fraud. This indictment comes after President Trump publicly called on his attorney general to charge his political enemies. Back in 2022, James brought a $500 million civil fraud case against Trump, which Trump is appealing. The indictment comes weeks after a grand jury also indicted former FBI Director James Comey, another political opponent Trump has publicly identified for targeting. Comey pleaded not guilty on Wednesday. Pressure is growing for Republicans to end the government shutdown as federal workers face a second week without pay. A seventh vote to reopen the government failed on Thursday, and that was the Senate's last vote of the week, with the next one not expected until next Tuesday. In the skies, airports across the country are being hit with hours-long delays from staffing shortages. At least 11 air traffic control centers across the country are operating understaffed. I want to show you this dramatic video here, which captured the moment a 7.4 earthquake hit the Philippines. It hit off the southeastern coast off Mindanao. At least 5 people have died. Officials initially warned the quake could cause dangerous tsunami waves, but that threat has passed. Here at home, police are investigating what led up to gunshots being fired at a park right next to Eastlake High School. Police say this started when a fight broke out between 6 people at Chula Vista Community Park right nearby. Someone not in the fight then pulled a gun and fired 3 shots into the air. Before police arrived, everyone involved ran off. Police say they know people recorded the fight and the gunfire on their phones. They are working to piece together what happened and if the fight and the shots were connected in any way. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. Child is back home after being hit by a truck that crashed into an Encinitas gelato shop. Our ABC 10 News reporter Emily Coffey spoke with a witness while the truck was still sitting inside of the shop.
A child trying to enjoy a sweet treat on a typical weekday night ended up in the hospital when a car crashed into an Encinitas gelato shop.
Pretty much floored it, where he was like peeling out and was like pushing the car in front of him. And then when that car like started to pull forward to turn to move, since he was like peeling out, his car just like took off and he lost control and then like ran straight into the gelato place.
Jordan works right across the street and says she saw the kid pinned under the passenger side of the vehicle.
When like we did see him, like they like carried him out and like that he was okay. It was like, and this is maybe the wrong choice of words, but did like lighten it a little bit because it's like, okay, bad situation, could have like taken a life.
We now know the kid who got hit is fine and at home with his family, according to this fundraiser, which, by the way, has raised more than $10,000 already. The day after the crash, that truck is still inside the shop as it's under a supporting beam. Police are investigating the situation and are looking into how the crash unfolded. The owners today declined to talk to me, but we've seen all kinds of technicians in and out evaluating what's happening here with electrical, gas, water, and the structure itself. We'll continue to follow up to see how this business and the family affected fares after this horrendous accident. Emily Coffey, ABC 10 News.
We want to go now to your consumer news. Diners are ordering less food when they go out to a restaurant as a way to save money. But ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell tells us this growing trend is starting to hurt businesses.
We're seeing more and more empty buildings and doors locked as many point to the business environment for all of the closures.
Vacant storefronts and closed-up restaurants are a common sight as businesses struggle to keep up with operating expenses due to financial pressures.
And they say this is to help us support the wages of our staff, but it still comes out of the pockets of consumers.
Justine Farrell, a digital marketing professor at the University of San Diego, says a big contributing factor are changes in consumer spending habits.
It's really tough because prices have just been rising and a lot of consumers don't feel as though their salaries have kept up to the same pace as that.
To save money, customers are ordering smaller, less expensive meals or choosing to order from the kids menu.
You are seeing a lot more of sharing meals, especially because a lot of meals have really large portions. You see less ordering alcoholic drinks because a lot of times those can raise the price of a meal. And so you'll see Gen Z or millennials having maybe a drink or a cocktail before they go to dinner to help cut down costs on that end as well.
Data from Ramsey Solutions shows a single-person household is spending about $222 a month on eating out, where a married couple with kids is spending about $500 a month on meals outside of their home, a cost that can add up.
Even just going to a regular pick-up-to-go meal can add up to like $40-50 just for the three of us on average. So it could get pretty pricey. No, that's not including drinks. That's just, a sandwich and some chips.
Justine says while people haven't stopped eating out, they are looking for ways to save some extra cash.
On the weekend, maybe we'll eat out once. We won't have like breakfast and dinner.
Yeah, we'll try to find happy hours. My wife is very diligent with that type of situation and trying to save money, so that's cut a few corners as well.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
That's your ABC 10 News Streamline. Everything you need to know today in under 10 minutes.